I wasn't crazy about photography until about my senior year in high school, actually. I'd sort of dabbled around in it when I was younger, but senior year I ended up joining the newspaper staff. And at the time, there was no staff photographer, and all the writers had to shoot their own stories if they wanted their stories published. So I was given a camera from the school just to go shoot a Friday night football game, and ended up having such a great time that I switched my focus completely, virtually stopped writing, and had just stuck with photography since. And I thought that was a really great way to sort of get started and get my foot in the door. And also during that senior year, I started mentoring with the Roanoke Times. But I also had enough time and energy on my own to do projects that I was interested in personally. And so I've seen a shift in my work from like a more journalistic outlet to an artistic outlet.
So I looked at all the top schools, figured out which one would work well for me, and ended up having to leave the state because there's no film program in Virginia, unfortunately, as of right now. But studied film for 4 years at Temple University, and yeah, it was a different, going far from home, it was a different type of college experience that I expected. I saw myself going to Virginia Tech or a school like that. But it ended up being what I needed to pursue a career in filmmaking. So
trying to accepted to Pratt Institute. I was on a waiting list first, and I didn't have much experience, so I was on a waiting list. But I got in eventually, and it was probably the most formative years of my life when I went to Pratt. And I went for industrial design. Do you guys know what that is? If you guys are unfamiliar with it, okay, it's kind of like designing products, like stuff, like everything from like a plastic spoon, to like a car is at some point an industrial designer is in there, like toys, I really wanted to get into toys.
When I was in high school, I wanted to do art, and I wanted to be a chef, and I went to culinary school, and I decided, well, working on cars makes more money, it was easier, so I went to auto school, then I went back to art school, and now I'm making money with art. It's pretty cool. So it's one of those things, if you don't know whether you want to go to art school now, or I had no idea when I graduated high school. It was 6 years before I went back to art school. Don't regret it. I paid for it a lot, but I don't regret it.
And so Scott got on board too. And in 2006, we went with another friend of Scott's to do a photo essay and to make a short film that Scott's showing later this evening. And so all these images are from that summer. We spent a little over 2 months right on the border where the violence has been particularly heavy, and ended up with the opportunity to live at the hospital where a lot of these women were receiving medical treatment.
They just have this like little contest actually, and I won, and so they print this and send you a free board. That's all it was, but for some reason this got the attention of a big urban clothing company called Academics, and they just emailed me. It was like, hey, we want you to do shirts based on this skateboard design. So I was just messing around, and they got me to do designs, and they've actually been probably, yeah, they paid pretty much a lot of our bills for the last 2 years, so just kind of.
not everyone knows, like, okay, I definitely want to be an artist, I definitely want to pursue film or photography or, whatever. Not everyone knows that at your age, but if you do, I would encourage you to look, like, seek out the top programs, pick your school, whatever you do after high school, like, base that on what's going to help me achieve my career goal.
The idea of the starving artist doesn't really have to exist, I don't like the idea of it. I don't think it makes any sense to me, and that's something that I refuse to be. And there's people who pursue, I think, art as hobbies, and that's great, and that's something that I've done. And I've just explored, like, there's so many different mediums for you. There's so much out there, and like I said, I have 1,000 things going through my mind right now. There's so many different ways, creative ways, to utilize yourself, not just in like drawing, painting, photographs, but creative elements in design, and just in your thoughts, your inner thoughts and processes and emotions. It's really crazy. There's a huge world out there, and there's a lot going on. And
the one thing is I go to work every day, and I absolutely love it. And the great thing is everyone in here are wearing the proper uniform for my job. You know, I came right from work. I'm in blue jeans and a shirt. You know, it's just great. So if you really, really love art, you have to follow it or you're going to be miserable, like I was for years. But you also have to keep in mind, you know, to build skills. Like I wasn't going in thinking I wanted photography. Photography's made me love